Hi everyone, my name is James Ivey.
I'm Paul Drew.
From the Studio Rats.
Oh, yes.
And quite frankly, I'm at Paul's gaff today, and it's been a while since you've done a studio tour.
Yeah, I tried to do it by myself. I tried to do a studio tour by myself on Monday, and I just thought it'd be better to do it with you.
Oh.
Well, not for that reason. Just
fair enough.
Anyway.
So apparently I now have to become the cameraman and then ask the occasional stupid question, which I'm really good at.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to hold the mic?
Shall I take this?
And I'll grab a camera.
Oh, yes.
And then we can have a look round what's new, what's happening at Shay
Drew. Studio Rats.
Do hold.
Studio Rats HQ.
HQ number 1. Point it at me a minute. Tell us about your studio, Paul.
Well, I've been in this studio for, I reckon, 6 years, something like that. So this studio was originally built about 9 years ago before I moved to the house. And one of the reasons why we bought this house was because this studio was in the back garden. Because I was sick of travelling to the studio where I used to work. And I wanted my own space and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I think I've explained all that before. So it's basically, it's quite modest. It's a smallish studio. It's, what's it, about 5 metres, 6 metres by 4 metres, something like that. Probably a little bit less.
Yeah.
And it's all in one room. Now, there's definitely things that I would change, and I think James and myself are going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, what do you want to know?
Show us round.
Okay,
Give us
so
the top.
over here, so I've got a Matchless Independence 35. This I bought, I bought this on Christmas Eve 2021.
Good work.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas to you.
Exactly. Well, it's sparkly, isn't it? So it looks a bit Christmassy. So I bought that. Really happy with it. That is my sort of go-to recording amp. So we've got the Matchless. The Matchless is permanently plugged into the Two Notes Torpedo Studio. And the reason it's plugged into that is because personally, I think that I can get a better sound with the Matchless plugged straight into the Two Notes Torpedo Studio than I can in this room micing up a speaker cabinet.
Controversial there.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, so we've also got the Grossman cab, which is this thing here.
It's a 1x12 in a fridge.
It's a 1x12 in a fridge, yeah. Basically, it's a way of being able to record your guitar as quietly as possible.
But still drive the amp at something resembling full tilt.
Yeah. Now, the thing is about the Grossman ISO cab, it's absolutely fantastic, but it's never going to sound as good as a, micing up a cabinet where that cabinet is in a decent sized room.
A big open cab in a room.
Yeah, exactly. Because, it's enclosed and you're always going to get a little bit of that enclosed sort of sound out of it. So that is why in this room, I like using load boxes. So I've got the Two Notes Torpedo Studio down there. And then for other sort of flavours, and believe it or not, it is like sort of changing speakers because they all do sound different. We've got the Boss Tube Amp Expander. That's really great for live. If I ever go out live with an amp and it needs to be a sort of fairly quiet stage, that's what I take because you can also run the effects through the speaker as well. Anyway, the next one is the the Universal Audio Aux. Really great unit. I think you've got one as well, haven't you, James?
I certainly have and love it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely great.
I also have a Grossman cab.
Yes.
So it's not, it's not one flavour fits all. It's definitely many flavours, ticks boxes, different times.
Yeah, definitely. Right, next to that, we've got the Bad Cat Cub 3 30R. Now, this is the last iteration of the Cub amp. It's basically a AC30 on steroids. It's that sort of sound. It's very different to the Matchless. The Matchless has that sort of AC30 sort of flavour about it, but because it's the L34s, it's got that sort of Marshall sort of sound as well. So that the Matchless can do anything from sort of AC30 type sounds to sort of full-on Marshalls. The Bad Cat is very much in the AC30 sort of vein. Sounds great. It's got that sort of that AC30 chime that we all know and love. Now, there's a reason why I've got my Les Pauls over here, because recently, you'll see it in a minute, I've got a stand to put all a cabinet to put my pedals in. And I didn't want to put the Les Pauls on top of the cabinet. For what reason, James?
Because you're worried that if they fall off, they break the headstock.
That's exactly right. So that's what I'm worried about. So they stay there next to the Reverend Gristlemaster. Now, I'm going to be selling that at some point.
Are you really?
I think so, yeah, I think so. I don't use it very much anymore. It's a really great guitar, but I don't use it. If I want to pick up a Telecaster, I'll pick up Telecaster.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got your amazing, was it an R7?
Yeah, so that one, yeah, that's an R7 and that's an R6.
With P90s.
Yeah, the R6 had P90s, or the 56 had P90s, 57s when they started bringing PAFs.
And of course, you've got all the decorations and stuff to make the studio a cool place, like pictures and neon.
Yeah, like there's some sort of discs that I've worked on in the past. Sort of take up a bit of
wall space.
Yeah,
and
take
what's
up a
the
bit
most
of wall
important
space.
thing in the studio? The thing directly above it.
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone is thinking about getting a studio, especially in the UK, because we don't see air conditioning that much in the UK, I would highly recommend getting an AC unit, because it's, especially like this, because it is a wooden structure, it's a wooden building, it heats up, it really gets hot, so that makes a massive difference.
Okay, so also down there,
Oh yeah,
the stash of
Katana.
Bossage.
Yeah, but Bossage, yeah, Katana. So we got there's a Boss head, the 100 Mark II head, and there's the 100 Mark II combo as well. So I use them for doing the Boss Katana videos.
Pointing straight to the light, really not good camera.
Okay.
But
I'll do this. I'll do this.
We'll cope. So I do like the industrial look filing cabinet. But
Oh, yes.
I'm really hoping it's not all sheet music and all boring invoices.
No, mate, it's all like leads and
I will say this: you are fastidiously tidy in your studio.
yeah. I do like yeah. It's got to be tidy.
Guitar World.
Guitar World. Okay, I'll let you go over here then.
I will. Over here. Behind the cable. Yummy.
So first of all, we've got Gretsch Brian Setzer. This is a hot rod Brian Setzer. They I think they still make this model, and they sort of change it every couple of years. It's really nice. It's a really nice guitar. It's one of the made in Japan ones. It's not one of the budget ones. And the reason why I really like this one is because I wanted a guitar with a Bigsby, and I didn't want a Gretsch with all of the unusable sounds. So what this is, it's basically single volume knob and pickup selector with a Bigsby, and it's great. And it's got TV Jones pickups. Sounds really good. Next, new edition. There's a video coming out. If it's not already out, there's a video coming out very soon. Like, this arrived yesterday. This is a Sir Pete Thorne.
But you've had one of those already.
I have had one of those already, yes, it's very true. So this is fulfilling the Super Strat needs at the moment.
Is that going to take the place of the Reverend as to live guitar?
No, do you know, when I go out live, I always take out a Telecaster. Because, if I was doing like 80s hair rock, yeah, I'd take that out all the time.
You can't do hair rock.
I can't do hair rock, it's very true. I can't do hair rock for obvious reasons. Should we do the next guitar?
Yep.
Next is this is my Jason Smith Master Belt Strat.
Yummy.
Yeah, I like that a lot. This is, I think someone named this the Hulk.
I thought it was the other Christmas Strat.
It is, yes. Yeah, they're the two Christmas Strats, obviously. But someone named this the Hulk. It's custom
Hulk
shop.
and Iron Man.
Hulk and Iron Man. yeah, that's a good one. I like that. So there's that. Then next, we've got the PRS Silver Sky. Do you know what? This is probably my favourite Strat.
Controversial.
I know. People, yeah. Highly recommend trying one of them out. Really good. Next, we've got this is a no-caster. This custom shop no-caster. Thin line. And it's a limited edition one. It's got a flame neck on it. It's really nice.
Really lovely.
Yeah, it's a really nice guitar, that. And probably my number one guitar, which is this. It's an Esquire, but I put a neck pickup on it. So that's that.
Very nice.
Do you want to do the pedals?
Yes.
Because this is a new edition. So I've got a bit of a penchant for guitar pedals, and I was running out of space. So I just bought this cabinet, just a cheapy IKEA sort of thing, but it sort of holds all the pedals that I've got, and it means that I can organise stuff in my particularly anal way, all down here. And the guitars can sit on top, so I'm not using up any space, so it works out great.
Nice. Moving on to the I think where I've got lots of rack gear, your rack gear has been slowly diminished and replaced with guitar processors.
Yeah. So like James, I used to have lots and lots of sort of studio rack gear that has mainly sort of dwindled away because I don't know. Yeah, I guess I do more stuff actually in the box now. So all the mixing and stuff inside the computer. So I don't really need so much hardware. And then so we've got an Axe FX down there. That's quite a recent purchase. That's really pleased with that. That's great. We really like that. And then next to that, we've got a Kemper.
With the foot controller?
With the foot controller. Yep. So if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Axe FX. But, there's still videos that have got to be done on the Kemper as well.
Then main I/O?
So, yeah, I use these Universal Audio Apollo interfaces. I've been using them, since the Blackface came out. When was that, James?
It's got to be 6-7 years.
It's got to be. It's got to be 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah, really great interfaces, especially if you want to use some DSP. So if you want to, run some reverbs and delays, like really good quality reverbs and delays externally as well.
Second to none. Quite
yes,
happily.
Absolutely.
Cool. And then over the other side, we've got a couple of
we've got a Wes Audio B76, which is like an 1176 compressor, and underneath that is James's old Universal Audio 6176, which is a preamp and 1176.
Yeah. So, what a lot of people might not know about is obviously it's easy to it's difficult to make good sounding music.
Yeah.
It's another level of complexity to make a recording of making a recording of good sounding music, and then add video on top of that, and it gets a whole other level of complexity as well.
Yeah.
So that's what this bad boy does.
Yeah. So that's an ATEM, a Blackmagic ATEM. To be honest, it's like a really clever way of switching cameras and plugging cameras into. So all the cameras that we use for
one there. Where's the other one? One.
And you're holding
one there, and I've got a handheld at the minute.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really sort of convenient way of running all of your cameras, and it's just great for recording YouTube videos, which is, to be honest, I'm doing more of that now than probably anything else, which I'm really enjoying.
Monitoring?
These are Key 3s, made by a company called Key. I think German company, James, is that right?
German, yes.
They're a German company, and they're really great. Just really nice sounding monitors.
And they have a particularly awesome controller as well.
Yeah, they come with this controller, or you can buy it separately.
The Key control,
yeah. Yeah. So everything's running through this iMac Pro. I've had this since it came out, and that's got to be, 5 years ago?
Easy.
I reckon it's 5 years old now. I reckon it's getting to the end of its life.
Ooh.
So,
Studio next?
Yeah,
Studio?
No, I think I'll get I think I'll just get a MacBook Pro.
Yeah. Acoustics and stuff behind.
Oh yeah, so rarely gets used. Bass at the back, just a Fender Mexican 5-string. I don't know why I got a 5-string. I think that was.
I like that bass.
Do you? Yeah. Now it is a nice bass. I would never use a 5-string bass. Next to that is my comedy purchase, which is a Hofner. I don't know what it is. Senator. Something like that.
It sounds really good though.
It does sound really good. But it plays like a dog. So at some point that needs to get fixed. I've got a Taylor 310, I think that is, and that's just strung up Nashville.
So all the other strings from a 12-string set.
All the other strings from a 12-string set. And next to that is probably my oldest guitar, which is this Takamine. I don't know what model it is, but it's one of the old good ones.
It's got some amazing scratches on it. It's got some really. This has been beaten up, this guitar.
Yeah, properly relicked. Yeah. Really like that.
And more history files along the back as well.
Oh yeah.
History discs.
Yeah.
Right.
Pedalboard.
Pedalboard of Doom.
The pedalboard of Doom. So everything's running through the ES8, which is the Boss switcher unit at the moment. So I've got the Clockwork, which is a J-Rocket pedal, the SP compressor, the Rattler, which is a Jam Pedals rat style distortion stroke fuzz thing, which is brilliant. The BB preamp, which is the Andy Timmons edition, made by Exotic. Next to that, I've got the Thorpe Peacekeeper and the Greer, I think it's called, the Boost, which is the one at the end.
Yeah.
At the bottom, Polytune, and a Jam Pedals Retro Vibe, which is a vibe pedal which just ever since James brought round his homemade vibe,
Yep.
I had to have one because it's so good.
And then on top of the amazing Amphion box.
On top of the Amphion box is the Jam Pedals Pink Floyd, which is their Pink Floyd pedals in a single box, which is a brilliant pedal, which I did a video on sort of a couple of weeks ago.
Much fun will be had with that later.
Yeah. It's such a great. I mean, Jam Pedals, I think, are probably my favourite pedal company. So great.
So we've had the tour. As someone what is building a studio, I may have mentioned that at some point this week on the live stream and on videos and stuff. As someone who is building a room at the minute, what are your successes in here, and what would you change?
Successes, I would say the room sounds great. It's because it's a vaulted ceiling. I'm really glad that I found some with a vaulted ceiling, because the room, it doesn't sound boxy like a lot of these sort of square rooms sound.
And you've got, acoustic treatment on the walls and in the corners and stuff.
Yeah.
Not massive amounts, but you're definitely losing some width to acoustic treatment.
Yeah.
Not a great deal, but enough to make a difference.
Failures. If I could do it all again, I would definitely have a separate room where I could have a cab,
Right.
and mic up a proper cab and run it at a decent volume.
Interesting.
A la sort of Tim Pierce in my basement, sort of running 2 big Marshall cabs.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to have that. I think I might be able to have a 1x12.
Well, even so, I just think a room, if you could do that in your next studio, if you could have a separate room, which is completely separate from your studio, where you can't hear that cabinet and you're not going to upset the neighbours, and you could just crank that up, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, there's certain things I have. Obviously, first and foremost, I as a drummist. So the whole live end, dead end thing, as in the dead end by the desk and stuff, and then the live end more towards the drums and less absorption, things like that, to give some actual life to the drums is quite important. And actually, even though we are literally in a garden shed, a log cabin type thing. You're in deepest, darkest Surrey, and we can't hear anything. I've never heard a plane go over, or we're not that far from Gatwick. So it's clearly not an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, say I've worked in here at Lobe with you, and it's really nice. It's comfortable. It's blimmin' hot right now because the AC's not on.
Just go on.
I think one of the things that I've realised from the last studio, there's a few things I'm doing very differently, but I'm spending a lot more money on AC to get a nearly silent one.
Yeah, that's a silent AC. I think that's you won't regret that.
Cabling, stuff like that. It's not like you've got a metric ton of gear and mics and stuff like that I've got to worry about.
But that's it. I'm all in one room, so it's like literally I can just run cables around the walls and stuff, and that's basically what I do. Yes, I think if I could have your studio that you've got coming, I think that'd be amazing. But I'm perfectly
well, you
happy.
kind of practically have access to it.
Right.
So
There we go. I think we're done.
As always, if you have any questions for Paul or me about studio builds, I'll bore the pants off people with studio stuff at the minute. Please do leave comments down there. If we can think of anything relevant, we'll link to it. And we've always got the Wednesday night live stream for live questions, things like that. But for now, at least, thank you for the guided tour.
But it didn't take long.
Who knows? My name's James Ivey.
I'm Paul Drew
from the Studio Rats, and we will see you again very soon.
Cheers, guys.